Hi everyone, I hope you're well and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about an Inman charged for marrying children. This happened in a mosque in Northamptonshire. Police said Ashraf Osman had been charged under forced marriage legislation after he allegedly conducted a nikah wedding ceremony involving two 16-year-olds at Northampton Central Mosque in November 2023. Mr. Osman, 52, from Northampton, is the serving imam at the mosque. You know, when somebody is only 16, the chances of them knowing much about marriage is probably they don't. You know, everybody knows who is married, knows that it's a long life-term commitment. And when you have children, it's exactly the same. It's no different. It's a long life-term commitment. You know, children aren't just toys that you could switch them off and put them down when you're bored. You know, they are human beings and it's a long life-term commitment. And the thing is, I believe that in the Muslim faith, they do kind of have this thing where they believe that, you know, girls will then have their periods and they kind of see them, right, you're a woman now. The thing is, to call a girl a woman is not because she just starts her period. Yes, it's the journey of her turning into a woman, but it doesn't make her a woman. You know, the thing is, when you're only 16 years of age, you are still classed as a child. As most people know, you're still classed as a child. A child will not know anything about getting married. You know, the thing is, getting married, when you're in a relationship and you're married, it has a lots of ups and it has its downs. But at the end of the day, it is also an everyday work. You know, it's not, you know, when you're in that relationship and you're married, it's a lot of work. It's not easy, okay? It takes a lot of, you know, it takes a lot of work to, you know, keep your relationship together, to understand one another. It takes commitment. It takes, you know, marriage is a friendship. It's also, you know, you're in a relationship where it's, you know, man and woman. You know, we get married in the church. They probably get married in the mosque. It's a binding, you know, long life-term relationship, you know, and it does have a lot of its ups and it has a lot of its downs. It has a lot of its ups as well. But at the same time, for a 16-year-old to be able to function and be able to have this you know, thing put on them at such a young age is really like, it's like carrying a heavy suitcase around, because it is a lot to deal with. It's a lot to deal with at the age of only 16. Most 16-year-olds now are finishing school, getting ready to, you know, they probably might want to go to university or college or whatever. But at 16, most people are just literally leaving school, you know. And what I want to say about you know, people from the Muslim culture is that I feel that, I mean, from what I've understood and I've seen some videos, a lot of the girls in that culture are actually getting married, some of them even under the age of 16, from what I've seen in some of the videos. I mean, I don't know anyone who's Muslim, so I can't really say it's as a fact, but from what I have seen, people put up on social media, that's what I have seen. I mean, I was watching a video one day about this woman called Sarah Jesus of Ministry, and she was interviewing this man, and he said that he was from the religion of peace. As we know, that's the Muslim culture. And then she started talking about Muhammad, that's their prophet, and she said, did you know that he married a 6-year-old? And he said, oh, but in those days, it was been all right to marry a 6-year-old because of the time that it happened in. But the actual fact is, in the Quran, it actually describes Aisha as playing with her dolls. A woman does not play with her dolls, no matter how old a woman is, unless she's playing with her children, then she'll play with the dolls to play with her children. But a 6-year-old will naturally play with dolls because of her age. Sorry, a woman does not play with dolls, okay? She doesn't just go out to the shop and go and buy a doll and decide she's going to go and play with a doll, right? Does not happen. So the maturity of that 6-year-old, because he described her as being mature for her age, but she obviously isn't mature for her age because she's still playing with dolls. If someone's playing with dolls, they are not mature for their age, okay? It shows that she's still a child and that she has the behaviours of a child because she's playing with the dolls, right? So, in Muhammad said that she was mature for her age. That's how he described Aisha to be. But she was, in fact, only 6 years old. And they do actually stick up for Muhammad and say, well, in those times, it would have been different. It's no different. It don't matter what times you're in, right? How long ago, whether it's thousands and thousands of years ago, a 6-year-old would have been a 6-year-old. And that is it. It don't matter what anyone says, a 6-year-old would have been classed as a 6-year-old, a 10 would have been classed as a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old would have been a 15-year-old, and that's a fact, right? So, when they're actually saying that women become mature when they start their period is actually not true. Matureness comes from here. It's from lifetime experiences. That's where a woman's matureness comes from, the same as a man. It comes from up here, and it's lifetime experiences. It doesn't just come, matureness doesn't just come because a woman starts her period. It's just that journey to becoming a woman. That's all it means, right? But a woman cannot be mature enough. If she was 11 years old or 12 years old and she was just to start her period, doesn't make her a mature woman. You know, it doesn't mean that she's ready to have children because of her age, you know. But they seem to think that they seem to think that a woman's mature enough because she's on her period, and that's where matureness comes from. That's not where matureness comes from, you know. Even like in their culture, you'd think that, you know, at 16, you know, they probably could be those two 16-year-olds, the ones that were getting married in that mosque, could have been a forced marriage, right? Whether it was or not, I'm assuming it was, because the man was arrested. So I'm assuming it was a forced marriage. A 16-year-old will probably want to learn and go to college or go to university, learn an education, you know, and these are the things that I think are very, very important, because as you get older, and then if you get married very, very young, sometimes those things like wanting to go to college and wanting to do certain things can get taken away because you're married and you have other responsibilities. So that's why I think it's very, very, you know, important for, you know, people to be able to have a choice whether they want to be married, not forced into marriage. When you're forced into something and then everything gets taken away because you have to get married, and it's a belief that they have, you know, because they want you to start getting married, and they want you to start having your children and your babies and everything at such a young age. And I think that their whole life is kind of taken away from them so young because they have this, it's, you know, they say it's their religion to do that, you know. But to me, I don't agree with religion. I'm not into religion whatsoever. I call myself a Christian lady. I am a follower of Christ. I follow Christ. I don't follow religion. People who don't understand Christianity will say it's a religion. It's not. It's just having a relationship with Christ without that attachment of it being a religion, because even Christ himself, you know, he wasn't into religion. Even Christ himself was not into religion, you know. So, you know, if he doesn't even agree with religion, why would he call it a religion? It's not a religion. It's a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, you know. And this is what I believe a lot of people should be doing. They should remove themselves away from religion, because religion, it holds you into this, it's like a box. It holds you into a box to believe certain things, yeah? And, you know, Christ allows you to have the freedom to choose. Although he does say in the Bible that women and men, obviously, they have to create, because, you know, that's just a natural thing that you do, you know, to have your children. And he does believe in people, you know, creating, you know, but at the same time, you know, to be forced into a marriage, no, I don't agree with that, you know. Although I do believe marriage is a good platform for children to be into. When you have the father and you have the mother, it's a good platform for the children. But at the same time, marriage should be done when you're ready. No one should be forced into marriages like these religions are. Do you know what I'm saying? These religions, they force you into marriage. And I don't believe that anyone should be forced into a marriage. You should get into it when you're ready. And this is what I don't believe in religions. I do believe that a lot of them are just, like I said, they're just these boxes, and they want you to go under certain things. And, you know, I would, you know, Christian, that's why I'm a Christian lady. I like to follow Christ. And that's why I, you know, you can't tell people what to do. People have to decide for themselves where they want to be. But at the end of the day, that's who I am. And, you know, I'm happy to be following Christ. And anyway, that's all from me today. And thank you for listening, and bye-bye.